So this video is going to be about why you should consider not playing Valorant, League of Legends, or any game developed by Riot Games. Riot Games is controlled by the giant Chinese corporation Tencent, which like all Chinese companies is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. Like in Russia, citizens in China do not elect their government representatives, so they are not accountable to their people. Like in Russia, China also has one-party rule. Together, this means that China and Russia do not have the rule of law. They have the rule of man. So what does that man want to do? In the case of Russia, Putin wanted to invade the Ukraine and kill innocent people, so he did. In the case of China, the Communist Party wants to invade Taiwan to complete the Chinese Communist Revolution and abolish democracy in Hong Kong, so it will. So I'm going to discuss why this should matter to you even if you're not from Asia. We have become so used to buying Chinese-made goods that we've collectively forgotten that literally every single Chinese company is effectively an arm of the Chinese Communist Party, which closely works with the Russian Communist Party. It took the Russian invasion of the Ukraine for some people to be reminded of why they need to be concerned about that. Now look around your house. There's a good chance that over 50% of everything you bought outside of food in the last year was made in China. But in the vast majority of cases, that purchased item is a physical good, and you bought that item from a Western company who merely produced it in China. But in the case of intellectual property developed by Riot Games, you are buying software that is controlled by a Chinese company. Now, even if you do not care that buying Chinese goods increases the power of the Chinese Communist Party, which it then uses to oppress its people, directly invade other countries like Korea in the 1950s, invade and overthrow countries by proxy, and support unstable countries with nuclear ambitions like North Korea, you should care about how Chinese software places you at risk. If you go to Riot's website, you'll see that they have offices all around the world. Going by the number of job openings by office, LA is their largest office, but their second largest office is in Shanghai, China. Going by the types of job openings, the Shanghai office develops part of the software code for games. So the Shanghai office has access to the software programming code for Riot Games, which means that the Chinese government also has access to it as well. So the Chinese government and its army of hackers can exploit any unintended or intended vulnerability in a game developed by Riot. Well, isn't that interesting? So a government without accountability and who is the biggest ally of Russia and who props up countries like North Korea, which threatens South Korea, Japan, and the United States with nuclear war, can infiltrate your computer and phone now. It can potentially track your communication and activities, steal or corrupt your data, and use your computer or phone for cyber attacks against your own country. Also, if China ever does overthrow the democratic government of Taiwan to complete the Chinese Communist Revolution, many computer systems will be at risk. There's a good chance that your motherboard and GPU were made by a Taiwanese company. Just one Taiwanese company has over 50% market share of global contract chip manufacturing. Also, if you indirectly rely on the Chinese Communist Party for your livelihood or entertainment, you will be more likely to look the other way when they do something you disagree with. Let's say you are the head of an esport organization like TSM and your political beliefs do not line up with that of the Chinese Communist Party. You could be investigated for some unrelated reason and pressured to conform. If you are okay with all of this, then keep playing Valorant and League of Legends and other games by Riot, but if you're not, perhaps you should consider switching games.